Welcome back, everybody. It's episode 51 coming to you live from my sweet in Denver. I'm at some kind of a rando residence in Doubletree something, and I gotta be honest, the view is spectacular. It is a power plant, and I can't wait to get out of here tomorrow so that I can go and explore Denver a little bit more. Anyhow, so for those of you who didn't know why or don't know why I'm here, I am here with 18, 16-year-olds for a soccer tournament. And that starts tomorrow, and we came out early to get, our bearings and get the acclimated to the elevation. The place we're staying just got inundated with about 9,000 other teams. So what happened this morning should be hysterical tomorrow when all of these 9,000 teams decide that they want to eat breakfast at this place that is charging $18 for breakfast. You heard me, $18. I'm not going to have any shout outs this week. I am going to do a little mix up with the format. So I'm going to get rid of some segments and I'm going to add in some new ones here and there. But this particular episode will be shorter since I'm on location. And I'm on a time frame because we're heading to Walter's 303 in a little bit, which is apparently a great beer and pizza place. So we only have 27 people, so we shouldn't have any problems eating and sitting down immediately. I did want to tell you that every time you meet a new friend this summer, every time you share or you recommend the podcast, that helps me tremendously. And every time you follow one of the social handles, you'll be able to kind of see real time what's going on behind the scenes and in this ridiculous life of mine as we are traveling and then as I'm at home just trying to work through daily life. You can listen and watch on all of the platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, those are the usual, and then also now on Amazon and Google. So that's great. And since I'm on the road, I'm trying to post stories each day just about where we are and the kind of fun, silly stuff that we're, experiencing. But I'm really hoping to get on a hike. I'm really hoping to get out to Red Rocks, and I'm really hoping to. We're going to a Major League Soccer MLS game on Saturday night, so I will probably do a little story from there too. So, it'll be fun, informative, maybe, who knows. So, in the news this week, there have been a lot of things that haven't been that great, but America just celebrated her independence yesterday, and I can't tell a lie. I did it in such high class, classy with a K fashion. We started out with a bang, and then we came back to our hotel, and the weather turned real sour. So we sat out at the tiny little pool, we meaning all of the parents that are here. And we had our own little makeshift, refreshment center. And the security guard at our hotel came out and told us that is frowned upon, that unless we're buying stuff from the actual hotel, we're not allowed to use our own stuff. But she did bring out some cups, which was super sweet. We then are kicked out of the pool area, not because we're in the pool and we're causing any ruckus, but because apparently the pool is extremely murky and they need to do something about that. So now they're going to clean the pool and we can't sit in there while they're cleaning the pool. So now we've been relegated to the smoking section of the outdoor courtyard-ish with a sole picnic table, a tiny little curb table, in a trash can. And that is essentially where we sat for the next 2 hours waiting to see what the weather was going to do before we decided if we were going to go see fireworks or if we were just going to bag it. So it was different. I was celebrating it with people I've never ever celebrated a holiday with. So that was awesome and learned a lot. And we have a lot of new fun nicknames, but I can definitely say this right here, this hotel is not the best part of Denver. And my first clue was the industrial feel. My second clue was the power plant. But my third clue that really solved the mystery was the homeless village right next door to the hotel. You know? But sometimes you can't choose your friends. Well, actually, you can choose your friends. You can't choose your family, and sometimes you can't choose your hotel because this was the one they said to stay at. Whatever. The Twatter has now decided it's going to limit how many posts you can read. So, you know, it's just one giant step forward in mind control by that twat. I don't understand what the problem is. I would think they wouldn't want to limit what you read, but limit what you post in response to what you read. But that, I think, makes too much sense. So let's definitely just limit what we read and just keep everyone in the dark as much as possible, because ignorance is bliss, isn't it? This is on the heels of Facebook launching their rival to the Twatter called Threads. And then there are two other platforms, Blue Sky and Spill, and they are now threatening the Twatter as well. So they're just trying to mix it up as however they can, because they know they're dealing with a ticking time bomb. So lots of pressure on the Twatter. I'm sure that means for the chief twat as well. I also read that some typically undesirable, you know, maybe like you want to hide that from other people, types of equipment or accessories have now been, they've got a refresh. They've got a glow up. And now we have really fashionable compression socks. And we also have, a portable urinal that looks like a vase. It's only $40. And you can carry that sucker in your car. So if you're on a road trip and you're like, oh goodness, really got to go, or somebody can't control it, look, take out your handy dandy portable vase that everybody travels with and just go ahead and let it rip in the car. It's fine. It's $40, you know? And when you get flowers while you're traveling or just at home, if you can't make it to your own bathroom, just grab that vase, dump those flowers, and just go ahead and pee away. Lacy incontinence underwear. I love this one. I love it. Because nothing says sexy like incontinence underwear or Depends. But I think the lace is going to add a lot of pizzazz. Now, my mom, right before she passed, had to use some of these undergarments. I was unaware until she came back into the country. But one of her few demands while she was in the hospital was that I find the lacy Depends that she found in France, because she refused to wear anything other than those. So my guess is once that starts to happen, you really want to try and preserve as much dignity as you can. And it's all about how you look, right? So lacy incontinence undies coming out. Look them up, because you never know when you're going to need them. But you also never know when you're going to need them while you still want to look good in your underwear. Earplugs that look like earrings, which I think this is brilliant. I have a lot of ideas, and every time I float them by my husband, I'm like, I think I might take it to Shark Tank. And he's like, I think you really want to think about that before you do it, because he thinks a lot of my ideas are not that great, which arguably they're not. But I do have a couple of gems in there, and if I had come up with earplug earrings, I think they're going to take off, and you'll probably be wearing them in 10 years. So don't even laugh at them. I recently read that China has decided that they are no longer going to hire anyone over the age of 35. They feel like they can get the cheaper labor if you're 35 and under, and that you will work harder. Now, I find this to be perplexing, because I think for a while there, did they not limit how many children a family could have to one? So how many people do they have there that are under 35 that actually are willing to work? I don't know. I feel like this could kind of backfire on them. But, I'm not an expert on China. I don't know these things. I just found that to be a little stereotypical both ways, And kind of unkind. It's very ageist, if you ask me, but nobody is, and I just wanted to share that's what's happening over there. To talk news, apparently the new trend is to like find your old diaries and then read them on to talk to make others feel better about your mistakes and your immaturity in the past so that they feel like they have a connection. That sounds to me like free therapy, and I am all for therapy, every kind of form. If you need occupational therapy, physical therapy, if you need addiction therapy, if you need counseling therapy, like I'm a huge fan of all of it. I support it. I'm not sure how I feel about this particular type of free therapy because I just don't know if that's going to work out the way that it's meant to, because I just feel like it's going to invite a lot of other issues. But you know what? That's to talk for you. You know, maybe I don't get all of it. I clearly don't, because my algorithm still just gives me like marriage advice, which I've repeatedly asked them. I would like dogs in the sleds in the snow, and I'm not getting it. I don't know why. God, it was just yesterday. And apparently now, because mental health is such a big topic that we all need to pay attention to, it is now infiltrating the dating world and the dating apps. And so there's specific language that you use when you are describing yourself now on the dating apps to make you more desirable, where maybe you used to say you had a great sense of humor, or you had an IQ of blah, 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 or you made this amount of money. Now it is more beneficial to you to say things like, my therapist told me this. I learned from therapy that I can now stand up for myself and say, you doing blank is an emotional boundary. It's past that boundary for me. You know, really? So I started thinking, like, I love all that. I love people like standing up for their emotional boundaries and like owning their crazy and coming from someone who's crazy. I'm not a huge fan, however, of like disclosing all of this just out of the gate. You know, I feel like the fun of dating is a little bit of mystery and like peeling back the layers. And I feel like now if you're kind of handing over your resume of crazy, I don't know. I mean, sometimes you're crazy is the stuff that you're like trying to work on. So I understand like telling people that you're trying to work on yourself, but like the specifics, do they need to know that? I mean, so that's my first question. My second question is, what do you go back to just like, what kind of movies do you like? Do you like chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream? Like those are the basic things that you would like. What do you want, a dog or a cat? You know, now people are like, what's your love language? How in touch with your feelings are you? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's me. I'm just like a really prickly person, but that sounds awful. It sounds awful. All of it. And I just go back to, thank goodness I'm married, because I'd be the worst dater in the world, because I would really suck at putting my crazy out there. Like, it's got to be in small doses, people. And you never, ever show all your cards. That's the first rule in gambling. And dating is kind of like gambling. Never show all your cards, okay? So, this is confusing to me, and I just wanted to, like, tell everyone in the dating world. Now, apparently guys are, or maybe girls too, are using this to their advantage to say, hey, oh yeah, I'm totally in therapy. And that's like an attractor for people it's like a green flag. Like, oh my gosh, this guy's in therapy. He's super in touch with his feelings. He's super mature and evolved. And oh my gosh, this is the catch. When they actually aren't in therapy and they're just saying that because they know now that being in touch with their feelings and being in therapy is like what people want, apparently. It's also a low-key indicator that they make a good living, or they have the means to support a therapy habit, or they even have access to therapy or the resources to find therapy, since it's so hard to find right now. So I would just like, just do a double take. Just really, really put your screens on your filters, not your screens, your filters on when you are on those dating sites and you are like therapying away, talking about the therapy and the lingo, because I don't think it's all it's cracked up to be. And that could go into a new segment that I'm going to have called Worst Hacks Ever. Because I feel like lately that's all that's happening to me. Hence the eye cream that we will never speak of again. We will never speak of again. So after I'm reading all this, I'm like, I kind of feel like everyone's thinking a little too hard. There's a lot going on there and too much thought is being put into things. It's summertime, y'all. Like, put down your screens, go outside, go to the office, go to work, go to the lake, go to a concert. Like, use your mouth and talk to people, you know? I mean, that's actually a really good way to get to know people as well, just saying. And then there's no pressure because it's like you didn't necessarily, like, try to meet up. You just met them. So this morning, I was in charge of breakfast for 25 people. So I went ahead and asked them, the hotel, to have the breakfast all ready and arranged at 9 a.m. So I came down at 8:40 a.m. just because I'm trying to, cross the T's and dot the I's. And apparently there's a lot of miscommunication here at this power plant hotel because they were like, yeah, we don't know what you're talking about. There's no record of it. And I'm like, well, we are about to have a lot of people, a lot of big boys come down. They're real freaking hungry. So how about you take your $18 buffet and cut it in half, and we'll just do it that way, and then we'll fix it for the rest of the week. They did agree to that. But the only reason that this happened was because every person that I spoke to that worked at this hotel, and they're all lovely and very gracious, not one of them was going to own up to being the manager. Not one of them. I literally would say, are you the manager? No, I'm not the manager. Nobody's going to tell me who the manager is. No one's going to own up to being the manager. I was like, who's running this show? I don't know. All right, so I will talk to you next week. I think Fatty is going to be on, and we're going to compare some Hawaii notes. So in the meantime, let's get our emotional baggage in check. Let's do it.